What's going on, guys? So, long time no see. I know it's been about a month since I posted a video, and I may put in a clip or two. I recorded a video the other day about where I've been and why I haven't been making YouTube videos for the last month. I may put that in this video, I may not, so if you see that right after this intro, then yeah, you'll see that. But it's kind of long and winded, and I don't know that you guys want to hear it. So what we're going to do today is I actually wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a, I don't want to say a lesson, but something that you should consider when you're judging whether or not you should buy custom fabricated stuff at an elevated price or off-the-shelf stuff at a much lower price. And this has been a battle forever. Custom fabricated stuff is expensive, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it can be double or triple of what the off-the-shelf stuff costs. Now, I obviously am going to encourage you guys to go with the custom fabricated stuff, but we're going to go through a couple of the reasons why. Now, the number one reason why you should buy custom fabricated stuff from a local fabricator is that the part that is being manufactured is most likely going to be manufactured directly on your vehicle. It's not made with some mock-up that's in a warehouse somewhere. It's not made on a car that was crashed 37 times and the front end doesn't line up straight anymore. So things like intercooler piping, brackets, mounts, exhausts, all that stuff can differ widely between vehicles. If they're using one specific car to mock this exhaust up, then they're building a template off of that one that they just built off of that messed up car. Then you get the copy effect where you make a copy of a copy of a copy, and that continues on down the line. And I have fixed countless exhaust systems that were purchased and just didn't cut it. They didn't fit right. The hangers were in the wrong spot. They hit here, they knocked there. If you guys have been watching any of Jimmy's videos with RJ's Miata, RJ bought an off-the-shelf exhaust and it hits the trans tunnel and bangs on the floor, and it's annoying as hell because it wasn't fit properly. The mold that it was made from, or the template, or the jig that it was made from, is a copy of a copy of a copy. So you're gonna always have issues with that stuff. Now, quality control is another big issue. When someone is building something on your car that you're going to be seeing and you're dealing with that person face to face, it is of the utmost importance that the quality is top-notch. Now, top-notch quality is going to come from the fact that the fabricator is not going to want to look like an asshole in front of the customer. They want to make sure their product is good, and they want other people to see the product and ultimately purchase it. Now, when you purchase an off-the-shelf item from a big company, most of the stuff now is made in China. Most of the stuff is subbed out. I mean, hell, even Vibrant Performance stuff now is made in China. They were a Canadian company. They used to make everything there and in the US, and now it's all farmed out to China. So you're getting dented materials, you're getting scratch materials, you're getting materials that are just a hair off size-wise because China uses apparently their own measuring system. So your quality control is not going to be there. When you buy a $300 catback, the quality is not going to be there. Even the Tomei, if you watch any of Adam LZ's videos, he just did a new Tomei exhaust on the 350Z. The one that he got that was fabricated as a custom one-off piece is amazing compared to the one that he bought from, I can't remember the name of the brand, Tomei. I probably just said it before and I couldn't remember it, but the Tomei exhaust, the titanium is very thin. They're very prone to cracking. They don't last very well. They don't hold up very well. So that's what you're getting, and that's an $800 titanium catback. Now, if you take that to a fabricator, that catback is going to go to about $1,500. So it's almost double the cost. But you're getting 10 times the quality, and if something is not right, it can be fixed by that local fabricator. Now, what I have in front of me here, and we'll get this kind of moving a little bit so the video is not too long, but what I have here and what made me make this video is a perfect example of why buying off-the-shelf stuff is not always the best idea. So what we have here is your typical tile blow-off valve. Now, before I show you why I'm showing you this in general, this blow-off valve was on a Subaru, sitting on an off-the-shelf intercooler, aftermarket off-the-shelf intercooler, bolted to it, you can see with that flange. Now, the problem again with aftermarket is you run into clearance issues, you run into fitment issues and everything else. So what ultimately was happening is this. And you can see there's a nice hole in the top cap of that thing. That hole in the top cap is because it was doing this over and over again, rubbing on something that it shouldn't have been rubbing on, because the particular off-the-shelf intercooler that it was bolted to was an eBay intercooler. Now, the eBay intercooler said that it was ready for a tile blow-off valve, which it is, because the flange is the same. So it's got your flange, which adapts to the tile blow-off valve via V-band connection, like they all do. But you ended up with this because there were clearance issues from an off-the-shelf item. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fix that blow-off valve. We're going to weld all that stuff up, grind it down, make it look as pretty as we possibly can, and save this person a shit ton of money from having to buy a new blow-off valve. So I'm going to set you guys up. I'm going to pull this thing apart, then we're going to set it up on the table, clean it up, weld it, clean it up again, and it'll be good to go. Alright, so now you guys can see there is a hole right back there. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up a little bit, try to get some of this anodizing off, because it's going to be very hard to weld with the anodizing on it. So we'll get the anodizing off of it around this area. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get the anodizing off on the inside, so that's going to be a huge pain in the ass, but we'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. We'll clean this thing up and we'll get it good to go. And you can even see, I don't know how well you'll be able to see inside there, but you see all this stuff? Yeah, right there. That is all aluminum shavings from this thing rubbing. So that could have been catastrophic to the seal, to the diaphragm, to anything that's inside this gate. This is a vacuum line right here. It could have been sucking those aluminum particles into the actual motor and causing damage. So these are a lot of things that happen when you buy off-the-shelf garbage. Of course it won't focus. There we go. Yeah. So let's get this cleaned up and let's get it welded.
We're going under and there's nothing we can do. The final hour before we let it go to rest. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest in this story.
Backlash written on me, card rubbing on a dashboard. I've been ballin', free my ladies and counting down. I'm already out, already on the countdown. I'ma set it right. Got the backlash written on me, cold running from the pole, and it's on me. Don't know which way we're going now, I don't wanna know it. Might as well be going down, I don't wanna know it.
We're going up, we're going under, and there's nothing we can do. The final hour before we let it go to rest. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest in this story. We're going under, and there's nothing we can do. The final hour before we let it go to rest. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest in this story.
Alright guys, so there's the weld. We did put quite a bit of extra on it just to make sure that everything is good. And what I decided to do was actually chuck it up in the lathe. Let me zoom you guys back out here. There we go. Decided to chuck it up in the lathe, and we're going to actually cut a little bit of the area off on the side here and a little bit on the top, just to kind of make it look a little bit more uniform so you don't have this big blob of weld there. But I'm going to knock that out now, so here we go.
In this story. We're going up,
Alright guys, so we got it finished up. I'll show you a couple things that happened, all because of the fact that there was an off-the-shelf part used that wasn't designed specifically on a car, caused some interference issues, and made a problem. So we fixed it. And we left a little bit of extra material on top and on the sides where, you know, in this general area right here where the problem was initially. And that is to, you know, counteract any more crap that this thing is going to run into because they're not changing the intercooler. Now, one of the problems you can see is this beautiful tile wastegate that was probably blow-off valve, my bad, blow-off valve, not wastegate. This blow-off valve that was probably $300 or $400 is now basically ruined because, one, we had to put this nice, you know, little bit of weld on here, and you could finish this up and body work it and make it look super pretty, but we're just going for functionality right now. It's not my job to make it look pretty, it's my job to make it work. Now, the other issue that you can clearly see is that the anodizing on this side is a completely different color now than it is on that side where it matches, sort of. It's still darker. But the welding process and all the heat actually changes the color of the anodizing. So now you not only have this $300 blow-off valve with a big chunk of aluminum sitting on top of it, but you also now have two different colors. So if you really want this thing to look good again, you're going to have to repaint it. Or you're going to have to clean it up, make it look nice, strip off all the old anodizing, and have it re-anodized again. So these are all the problems that get created when you buy stuff off the shelf. Now, you might not think that it's a big deal. Ah, my blow-off valve rubbed on it, now I have to have it fixed. But the issue is I'm charging somebody to repair this. They're going to get it back and go, wow, well, that's stupid ugly now. And they're going to have to do more work to it to make it look good again because it is visible in the car. Not only that, but the piping still doesn't fit right. And this is going to happen again. So now I put all the work in welding it and fixing it and grinding it and everything else. The next person's going to put all the work into it, body working it, re-anodizing it, repainting it, and then it's going to happen again. So the intercooler that was purchased was probably a $150 eBay intercooler. And had that intercooler been a $300 or $400 custom fabricated piece, the clearance issues with this would have been found during the installation and the proper modifications could have been made so that this doesn't happen. So yes, you pay more for custom fabrication than you do off-the-shelf items, but you also get better fitment, and in the end you don't have to down your car to fix a blow-off valve, buy a new blow-off valve, bodywork the crap and clean up your old blow-off valve to do any of this stuff. If it was done right the first time, none of this would have happened. So that's why I advocate for custom fabrication, especially local small fabricators like myself. I'm sure you guys know of somebody in your area that does the same. You can get that one-on-one contact. And you know what? If ultimately this weld fails, it's my fault. And I'm right down the street. Literally, I'm a quarter mile from where this person's car is. If that weld should fail for some reason, and it's my fault that that weld failed, I'll fix it for free. You don't have to send it back. You don't have to anything. You can bring me the car. I'll pull the blow-off valve off. I'll fix it for free and put it back on your car. So that's the benefit of having a custom fabricator right there. You're going to pay a little bit more, but you know what? Should you have a problem, I'm here and I'm going to fix it. And your fabricator's there and he's going to fix it. So something to think about. I know a lot of you guys are about doing budget bills and trying to save a little bit of money, and you might be a young college student or a high school student and you don't have a lot of money. Instead of making impulse purchases on eBay and spending your money and having to modify things anyway, consult a fabricator. Talk to someone who's been in the game. Talk to someone who's done it a million times. And if you talk to anybody, they're going to tell you, yeah, the eBay stuff is cheap and you can make it work. That's always the answer. Should I buy this piping kit off of eBay? Well, yeah, it's cheap and you can make it work, but it doesn't fit right away. So just remember that, guys. I hope you enjoyed this short video. I'm going to be making some more. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things with filming. And yeah, so that was tile blow-off valve repair. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.